We're going to start our tier list for our 5-year anniversary stream. This is all the games I have completed over the last 5 years, being on Twitch and YouTube. I believe there are 75 games here, but we'll go one by one. Let us begin. Portal. I never played the Portal games growing up. If y'all don't know, I'm not a gamer, or I previously was not a gamer before I started streaming. I really liked the Portal games. I am gonna put them in A. I think the puzzles are very nice. I didn't get a lot of story. There's a lot that have a lot more in-depth stories. The Room. Love, love, love the Room games. They are very good. But they are a lot like the Portal. So a lot of, where is number 2? There's a lot of puzzles, and I think they're very cool, but it's lacking some story, I think. I don't know where the Room 2 is. But if we find it, we'll put it up there, and if we won't find it, I'll add it later. Or maybe I just add it now. Do I see it? Do I see it? I don't see it. Oh, it's gonna make me do it all over again. Okay, I'm not sure why that one didn't get added. But we'll continue on. The Room 2, it's gonna go up there too. Okay. Cult of the Lamb. I'll put it in A. I think it's a very good game. It's a long game for how much money it is, and there's a lot of different paths you can choose. Has really big replayability. It's really difficult at times, but I think it's pretty good. Emily's Away. Oh, hold on now. Boop. Emily's Away is like C tier for me. It's supposed to be a horror game. I didn't get any of the horror aspects. I think I got the best ending, which I got from just being a normal person. So it didn't seem to have a lot of substance to me. I didn't really care for it a lot. The Forest, S tier. Loved The Forest. I really liked the story. I played it for hours and hours and hours. I can actually look, but I have 42 hours in it. I really liked it. I explored a lot of aspects of it. It was creepy and scary and hard at the right times, and I really, really liked it. A Friday Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator, that's an F. Didn't care for it. It seemed like an arcade game, almost. I didn't like it. Ooh, Doki Doki. I'll put in B tier. It was very unique at the time it came out. There's a lot of unnecessary dialogue in the game, I feel. It's long for kind of no reason. Obviously, I think the hour and a half of upfront build-up to get to the horror is fine. But then after that, once you know it's a horror game and you start dismantling things, going through the motions of still having to talk about poems and doing all this stuff, it just seemed heavy-handed in that department. I also voice acted all the characters, and God, it made my voice sore. Simulacra. I really like the first Simulacra game. I'm gonna put it in B because I think for very similar reasons. It's a shorter game. I think it's 3 or 4 hours, but yeah, there's a lot of build up where I feel like there didn't need to be, and sometimes you're given the illusion of choice, but you don't have a choice. And it's one of those games where you have to pick between options, and sometimes just all the options seem bad. So I'd put it there. Adolescent Santa Claus, charming, it gets a D. I didn't really care for it. The translation was a little off. That didn't bother me too much, but the story comes and goes in a loop and doesn't go anywhere. Bending the Ink Machine. I'll put it in S. I really liked it. It's a shorter game. I think it's maybe 4 or 5 hours. But I'd never seen another game like it. It's a horror game in like an older cartoon style, kind of very similar to Cuphead if it was a horror game. I think it was fun. There were times where it was really hard. I remember you had to fight someone kind of towards the end, and that was like a really hard fight. But just because it's hard doesn't mean it's a bad game. I really, really like that game. Garden of Bam Bam. I think I'm going to put it in D. It's a very cool concept, but the storyline didn't have any substance to it, other than like it's more of a jump scare game and like having things follow you and being like kind of creeped out by that, and the dichotomy or like contrast between being set in a children's setting while having it be a horror game. But yeah, Resident Evil 4. I'll put in B tier. Good Resident Evil game. Ashley is so fucking annoying. I had a really hard time with Ashley. I think they killed off the other male protagonist too soon. And the fight with the final boss wasn't hard enough. But it was a pretty good game. The storyline I didn't really understand of this one. Normally I can follow the Resident Evil storylines. This one was kind of all over the place, so I had a bit harder time with it. Sons of the Forest, I'm trying to be nice. I'll put it in B. I loved the forest so much, I was really let down by this game. There were some things that did better. There were a lot of things that did worse. I don't think the story made as much sense. We got our ass kicked a lot more for seemingly no reason. It was, yeah, you got companions, which made the game easier, but at the same time, part of what made the first game fun was that it was like a you versus the world, and to take that away kind of made it feel like a multiplayer server. I don't know, it just had a different vibe to it, and I put it in B. That's it. Which one is this? I think this one is The Radio Station by Chilla. I'd put it in C. I didn't think it was as scary as the other ones. It has some sensitive themes, so beware. I think it was a horror game, but in like a kind of dark and twisted moral way, instead of being like fearing for yourself, you had to fear for someone else, and I don't like those as much. Frambo. I think Frambo's an A. I really liked it. I think the puzzles were good. There were times where it was kind of convoluted, and I was like, I think when we were at the twins' house and you have to go outside and talk to the frog or something, I had to actually look that up. I was having a really hard time knowing what the fuck it wanted from me, but I love that art style. I really liked when we went to like the tree people land and all the stuff we had to do there. I think that was really fun. So I put an A. Tell me why. I'll put in. I'll put in A. It's about the same length as Frambo, I think. This was deep. It's kind of similar to what's the Freezy game? It's similar to that game. Oh shoot, what's the game called? Where the girl takes pictures. Shoot, I can't think of what it's called. Hold on, let me look. I know I have the game. I just cannot in my brain think of what it's called. Life is Strange. It kind of gives me a Life is Strange vibe. It's got interesting characters, an interesting story, and you're trying to like backwards piece together how we got here. It goes through some pretty heavy moral themes. I really liked it. I thought it was thought-provoking. So yeah. Baldur's Basics. C. It's basic. It is a different style of horror game, kind of like Garden of Bam Bam, where it's like old 1990s CD-ROM type games. But other than like getting jump scared by the teacher at the end, the replayability is not really there. I didn't love it, so that's that. Portal Reloaded, I'll give it an A as well. Really like all the puzzles in the Portal games. They're really, really good. So, and they had a better, Portal 2 had a better storyline, so I really liked that. So yeah, I put an A. This is Amnesia Rebirth. This is the one where we're in like the Sandy location. I put it in B. It was really good. It's a shorter game. There were times where it was creepy and just creepy. There was no threat or obstacle. It was just like, ooh, it's creepy. I prefer to have a threat, like in Amnesia Machine for Pigs or The Dark Descent. There's like actually a threat there that you have to like kind of move around. I prefer that. The story of the game was a little confusing because we're kind of like jumping back and forth between different places in her life. So I give it a B. Amnesia's Dark Descent an A. I loved this game. It is an older game. I think I played it in 2021, and I think it's from late 2000s, 2011, something like that. I thought it was really good. The puzzles weren't too hard, but still thought-provoking. Really liked it. The Convenience Store. I think I gotta give it a C again. Not the best. It is creepy. You do fear for your own life, but it got paranormal, I think. And you had to like go around to the different TVs and stuff, and that part I didn't really understand. It was kind of hard, so I put in C. Sally Face. I only played episode 1, so let me be honest. I didn't buy the other episodes. I'd put it in C. Some of the characters were not likable to me. But overall, I thought the story was fine. Original Outlast. Oh, I think it's an A. I really liked the Outlast games. They're creepy. There is actual threats. Their storyline was easy to follow. Really, really great game. It was gruesome where it needed to be, but not overly gory. We did see a man's penis in this one, though, and that's a lot to deal with. BioShock 2, it gets an S, even though I have a hard time. I think BioShock 1 holds a better place in my heart. Both of these are S tier. Great, fantastic games. Love how the power system works. BioShock 2, I really liked the implications of the other characters that came in. Love the BioShock series. Absolutely fantastic series. Alien Isolation also gets an S tier. I played a lot of Alien Isolation. It took me a long time to get through this game because I was scared the entire time. The threat comes and it doesn't light up almost ever the whole game. It works off your microphone. It is so immersive and it is fantastic and I loved it. How Fish is Made, I'll put it in D. It's a weird game. It's a short game. I don't get the point of why the person made it, but I played it. Unpacking, this is hard because I prefer adventure games, and unpacking is very much just like a cozy sim. I'll put in C. Decent game. I like how you can... I'll put it in B. I like how you can figure out more about the person through unpacking their items. I think that is kind of fun. And I believe there's different people you can get. I'm not sure, but I think that was fun. And through the different stages of life, you got to see like, oh, they broke up with that person, or oh, they moved out of their parents' house. So it had a little bit more to offer. BioShock Infinite. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember. Let me look. What exactly the like bad guy was in this game. So follows his protagonist Booker, who was sent to Columbia to retrieve Elizabeth, a young woman who's being held captive. Here we go. Here's the plot. The airship. They secure weapons by the local gunsmiths. Recaptured by Songbird. Yeah. This is when there's like, they're inside the Statue of Liberty or something. Okay. Yeah, I'd put it in A. It was totally different than the BioShock games before it. I don't think that was a bad thing, but it was... I don't know why they called it BioShock. I think maybe they were just playing on how popular these games were, but it's totally different. I don't know if they consider this a sequel. They should not, because it's just a totally different game. But it is a good game. It has a decent storyline. It was hard to follow it sometimes. I was like, wait, what the fuck is happening? Why is that happening? But still really good. Hollow Knight. I had a hard time with Hollow Knight. I'll put an A. I had a hard time with it because I'm not great at games. So it took me a while to level up. I wasn't great at the map. It really helped my platforming skills, which were 0, by the way. So yes, welcome on in, Lindo. So it was hard to pass the game, but I don't think that made it a bad game. I'd give it an A. The artwork is amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. No, fuck it. We'll put in an S tier. I think it's a pretty good game. Yeah, no, I think it's a good game. It had a lot of content, and it had a lot of stuff to find. And even though some of the boss battles are really fucking hard, I do think it's a good game. Stray... Oh. This is just how much I like them, right? I'll put Stray in S. I really liked Stray. It was a shorter game, and I didn't always understand what was going on, but it was really good. It was a really good game. The art style is fantastic. I loved talking to the robot people, and kind of moving up through the Undercity and seeing what was going on. I think it was really, really good. And then at the end, that ending scene where the sky opens, like, I nearly cried. It was really beautiful, beautifully done. Inscription, I'm also going to put it S tier. This was a game that one of my coworkers asked me to play, and I was really skeptical about it, because I was like, you don't know me that well. And you're like, this is a good game, but I'm worried it's not a good game because you don't know my tastes. But it was a great game. Really thought-provoking, trouble solving game. and it was 4 times longer than I thought it was, because I didn't know that we went to like the separate worlds and stuff, so it was crazy playing that game. Dishonored, S tier. Love Dishonored. Dishonored is very good. Highly recommend it. The power system is fantastic. The storyline, easy to follow. So good. Stanley Parable is gonna get a C. I'm really sorry. When I played through it, it was very short. It was a very short game. And I didn't feel like I got anything out of it. I'm aware that there's different paths that you could take to make the game longer and stuff, but it just didn't seem to have a complex storyline other than, like, they're watching you. I don't know. I felt like it could have gone further. If it wanted to be a horror game, it'd be really good. But it kind of just came up to nothing. Okay. Cry of Fear. I have not a great relationship with Cry of Fear. I'll move it up. Will I put it in D? I didn't like it. The part of this is an emulation problem onto the PC. I'm 100% aware of that. So the final cutscene when you're in the wheelchair, that crashed my game like 8 times before I was able to play it, and then when I died, it would crash the game again. It took me like an hour and a half to finish the game. The zombies and stuff were fine. But yeah, a lot of the emulation problems were really bad. The story was a little hard to follow. I'm still not super sure what the fuck happened in that game. Is it in his mind? I don't know. But I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people really like Cry of Fear, and I just didn't like it. I'm sorry. Escape Room de Collage. Sure, it was fine. It had an interesting storyline. Nothing was too hard to follow. It was a shorter game, but I think it was fine. I'm on Observation Duty 2. Ooh, we can give that a B as well. The I'm on Observation Duty games, they don't have a lot to offer, just because of how they are. They're kind of like I Spy. Really fun to play with people, but alone it's kind of boring. And they love using naked people, and I just don't love seeing that. I'm not particularly scared by the stuff in these games, so it's kind of B tier it is. Putt Putt. Okay. I'll put Putt Putt in B. I love Putt Putt with my whole heart. However, these games are like maybe 2.5 hours long. They're point and click style children's games. So it is more nostalgic than anything else for me. They are really good games if you're like 7, not great if you're like 26. So I'll put them in B. The Rental was an interesting game. I'll put in B. It was a very cute art style, but things got weird little by little, and then all at once. And I think it was a really interesting game. It didn't have a lot of substance to it, but it was cute and fun, and I liked it. The Closing Shift. This was the first Chilla game I played. I'll put in B. The Chilla art games are interesting because the low poly makes it creepier, and then the sound design is really good. The Convenience Store, in my opinion, the Closing Shift, in my opinion, was the best. Because it played off different fears. So, like, you saw the man looking at you, he took pictures of you, and then you found out he was actually living in the storage room, and then, in the end, you have to decide if you're going to kill someone. Like, it gets really deep, and I really like that. I think this is the convenience store, which I already have one for, so I'm just going to put them next to each other because I think I accidentally got them. No, this is Missing Hiker. They can go next to each other. Missing Hiker is decently good, and the convenience store, they're all right. Stories Untold, I think it's an A. I really liked it. Is it horror? I think so. Where it's like you read these stories and then the things happen to you in real life. Really, really super interesting. Puzzles were really good. The sound design was really good. I really liked it. Amnesia Machine for Pigs. Oh, man. I'll keep it with the other Amnesia games in A. It's really good. It was a longer game. There were times where it was more dark than other times. Really, really liked the storyline. Really liked the monsters. It was grotesque and weird and creepy and very good. Disturbed, I'll put in B. It was good. It's a short game. It was an indie game, like very, very indie. And it's a type-to-text style adventure. I don't know exactly what you call it, but you type in your responses, basically. I love those types of games. I wish I could find more of them. I didn't understand the story super well, but the puzzles weren't too bad, and it was decently fun. Escape Memoris, I'm going to put an A with like the Room series. It was quite good. It had more interesting puzzles, and more interesting plot lines. I thought it was really, really fun to play. Mad Father, I'll put an A. Mad Father is a JRPG, I think. It's really good. There's also Ib and another one I think that's really popular that circles around the same kind of style. Mad Father was good. It's been a long time since I played it. A puzzle game, a horror game. There were times where I thought people were good or bad, and then it would be the opposite. Really crazy stuff. But I really, really liked it very much. And then you can get different endings, and the ending I got, I think, was a bad ending. But it was like a shock. I was like, oh my gosh. So good. The Lighthouse Keeper, I'll put in B. Not a whole lot of substance to the game, but I found it really, really fun. It was short, nice and sweet. Killed some whales. More of like a life sim, which, like I talked about, isn't necessarily my vibe, but it was good. Getting Over It. Man. I'll put in B. I cannot in good faith put in an A, because it is quite a simple game. And the narrator fucking talks all the goddamn time. He talks way too much. I did complete it, and I felt like $1 million when I completed it. And I still in my head am convinced it's not that hard. But it takes time and patience, and you have to like this kind of game. Very similar to like Cuphead, where there's a lot of like dying over and over and over again, but like eventually you'll reach the end and it'll all be worth it. So I don't know. There it is. There's the Room 2. That's okay. We'll just put it up here with the Room 2. So yeah, it was fine. Like I said, there's just not a lot of substance or story to it. It's more of a proving yourself game, just like Jump Night, or Cuphead, like I said. So, Fallout 3, baby! So, this is interesting, because I fucking hated this game when I started it. I found it really fucking hard, and I didn't think it was worth playing, and I wasn't into the storyline. And then maybe like 10 hours in, it was pretty far in, where I started to be like, wait, I like it. I think I like it now. And part of that is because you have to build your like, what, character sheet. You have to build what you're good in. So you're bad at everything in the beginning, and you have to kind of slowly get better. And I'd not played a game like that before, but yeah, about 10 hours in, I was like, wait, this game slaps, I think. And then I played it for 90 hours. And the DLC. Really, really liked it. I didn't get a companion until the very end, and I'm sure if I had gotten one sooner, it would have been a much nicer game. But I did really, really enjoy it after my struggle with it. So it's gonna get an S. It also was really cheap. They sell the Fallout games for really cheap when they go on sale, and I played fucking 90 hours of it. Like, very, very worth the price. The Evil Within, another S tier game. Fun side fact, didn't think I was gonna like these games when I started it. I was like, I don't know, I've been playing Resident Evil and I don't love those games, and it's another like zombie game. I loved them. Both the Resident Evil 2, the Evil Within 2 and the Evil Within 1. Amazing, amazing. I really like the psychological implications of, like, I think number 1 does it better than number 2, because in number 2 you're kind of stuck in this like fake computer world. It's a little weird, but I really liked the Evil Within 1 when it's like this guy's got superpowers and he transports you to like your nightmare realm. It's really, really good. And I got the Evil Within 2 right after the Evil Within 1 for free on Epic. Shout out to Epic for giving me a whole bunch of free games. Super, super great. Loved it. Very good. Fears to Fathom, I'm going to put as a B. I think it's about the same level as the Chill Art games. Creepy and scary, and it plays on like actual fears. So the one I played was Home Alone, so it plays on the fear of like someone's gonna try to come into your house while you're home alone, you don't know what to do. But it takes it a step further as like someone actually breaks in and you actually have to like try not to die. Super, super fun. But it doesn't have a lot of substance, it just plays on your fears. So pretty good, but not amazing. Figment is a really interesting game. In the beginning, I didn't understand what was going on. I'm going to give it an A. Art style is fantastic. It's a really enjoyable game. Some puzzles. Fun storyline. Easy to follow. I really think it's a really good game. FNAF. I really don't care for FNAF. For me, it's about the same level of Baldi's. It's a jump scare game. It keeps you high tension, but there's no story. Oh, there's 2 Garden bands too. Just in the first game, right? Not a lot of story. Not like a lot more to do. I did play this game, and I think I did the 6th night too. I know I beat the game. I'm trying to remember if I completed the 6th night or not. I think I did. But yeah, just not a lot of substance other than just like being afraid you're gonna get jump scared, right? So it's a C tier for me. Inside, ooh, I have a hard time with Inside. I think I might go A. Inside's simplistic. The art style, right? Much more simplistic. There's no dialogue in the game. You don't get to know a lot of what's going on. What is the game? Oh, Little Nightmares. We'll get to that. Very reminiscent of like Little Nightmares, I think, but a little more simpler. You're, I think, like falsely accused of a crime, and then you have to escape the prison, and then you're escaping like you just escape your whole life. And the story basically is that through doing that, you change who you are in order to survive and get outside. There, like I said, not a lot of story. It's like a side-scroller platformer game. But you can infer a lot of the stories by the stuff happening around you. And I think it was really good. I think it's really well done, despite not having dialogue or like a well-defined plot. I do think it was really, really done well. Little Misfortune, I think, is right up there with Franbeau. Very similar games. To me, I empathize a little bit more with Little Misfortune because I think she's younger than Franbeau. And Franbeau has mental illness, psychological issues. When Little Misfortune grew up in an abusive household. So we kind of follow these characters in very similar paths. Franbeau sticks a lot more in reality, Little Misfortune sticks a lot more in reality when Franbeau can like go back and forth between worlds that are real and not real. But I really liked how Little Misfortune did it, and I liked the plot, and I think it was really good. Oh my god, A Plague Tale. A Plague Tale Innocence and A Plague Tale Requiem, S tier games for me. This I played on a whim because I got it discounted. I think I got A Plague Tale Innocence for free on Epic and then was like, I have to play the sequel, which is Requiem. Fantastic games. Fantastic. You follow siblings through like the 1500s, 1600s, bubonic plague outbreak, but it's like worse than that. It's like a horror game based around darkness and rats. And you have to solve some puzzles and stuff, and you have to keep your brother alive because he's like your younger brother and stuff. And it's just fantastic. It was great. I really, really loved both of those games. Outlast 2 is gonna be up there with Outlast 1. It was weirder. It shifted the direction, which in a way I'm not sure I liked. But the plot was succinct. The ending's fucking weird, but it played on all that same emotion of what made it scary, and I just liked it. I don't know, it was really good. I thought it was really good. Simulacra 2 is going to get a C. I don't think it's as well done as Simulacra 1. I'm just going to say it. Thank you for the hydrate, Lindo. And the posture check. This could be my thought, but it just seemed to have a lot more front build-up and off-topic dialogue, which is already what I didn't like in Simulacra 1. And I don't think the story was as succinct. So in Simulacra 1, I'm pretty sure that these people would go on dates with like someone they met from Tinder. So like Janet went on a date with Darren, and Janet's infected and she gave it to Darren. And then Darren would go on a date with like Kimberly, and Kimberly would get infected from Darren. And it was like that kind of thing. Simulacra 2 like went deeper and made it like a religious cult thing? I don't know. I didn't really understand a lot of what happened. Both Outlast games, I certainly did. But I played Outlast 1 in 2021 and Outlast 2 in 2022. So they are up on the YouTube channel. They do exist. But no, is it not gonna? It might not. Can I do socials? There we go. So it is up on the YouTube channel, but yeah, I played them years ago. Loved them. They're so spooky and scary, and I thought they were really, really good. We have a second Sons of the Forest. Cuphead, baby. This might surprise some of you. I think Cuphead is S tier. It might be A tier. I'll bring it down to A tier. Yeah, I'll bring it down to A tier. So I think the story was good enough. They had like a reason for why they were doing things. And then that was fine, I think. I do think the game is hard for no reason. Kind of like Getting Over It, where someone just made it super hard because I think you could get the same amount of enjoyment from the game if it wasn't so hard. Actually, I think you'd get more enjoyment from the game if it wasn't so hard. I really struggled through Cuphead. I hated Cuphead. Cuphead was really, really hard for a really, really long time. But I finished it. It took me 40 hours, guys. 40 hours to finish Cuphead, by the way. But now I'm open to the DLC, and I'm thinking about playing the DLC. There were times where the people you were fighting had unique abilities that I thought were really fun and interesting. And there were times where it was worth it. I'll put it in A. I don't really recommend people play it because it's really rage-inducing. And like I said, I really don't feel like it needed to be as hard as it was. It's a game for masochists, you know? So if you want to play it, you can. What was the hardest boss? Ooh! I'm gonna have to look up a list to make sure I remember them all. Let's see here. Oh, I had a really hard time with Jimji the Great, the like genie boss. I had a really, it took me a long time to defeat him. Same with Beppy the Clown. It took me a long time to defeat them. After that, Dr. Kahl's robot made me want to die for a little bit. And then after that, to be quite honest, King Dice took me a little while, but because it was so varied, and the minigames themselves weren't hard, it was just like him who was hard, that was fine. The Devil sucked, but I actually finished the Devil a lot sooner than I would have ever expected that I could. So I don't need to save Ezekiel, or I guess I could, but thank you. And thank you for the hydrate and posture check. I appreciate it. But yeah, so Cuphead's fine. I in the past I would have put it down in D, but I think I've grown a little bit. It is a good game. The plot is decent. If you're into those kinds of games, then I would recommend it. If you are not, stay away. The Quarry. I'll put The Quarry in A. I just played The Quarry. It was decently long. It has beautiful visuals. The voice acting is fantastic. The only thing is that they are like freshmen in college, seniors in high school, going to this camp. They were some of the characters I just didn't really fucking deal with. Caitlin, didn't really like her character. Emma, took me a really long time to feel any sympathy towards Emma because she was like the worst for a long time. I felt like some of the romance was forced. Like they were trying to have Caitlin be into Ryan, who was into not Nick, the other one, Dylan. I feel like that threesome was a little forced. But it was really to have like spoilers for this whole thing, obviously. But to have Abby be the one that has to shoot Nick, and then have Abby have to be the one who run away from Emma. Obviously, as you play the game, it's different. The only thing was that it seemed like when everyone got bitten, they transformed. And then when Jacob got bitten, he died. I don't know what the fuck, why that is. I feel like Jacob should have transformed when Nick bit him and then gone back when it was done. but instead they just decided Jacob died, even though no one fucking else died from being bit. So I don't know. That was the only thing that I was like, what the fuck? Poppy Playtime, it's gonna get a D. It's fine, but it's very similar to Garden of Bam Bam, of like, the thing that makes it creepy is just like, it's supposed to be a child's place, and it's not. Poppy Playtime Part 2, when you follow the girl, much better than the original Poppy Playtime. I thought the original Poppy Playtime, it didn't have a really good plot, and it was just scary because of jump scares and monsters. It needed more for me. We have another Five Nights, so put that over there. Resident Evil 1, I'll put in B. I really liked the old Resident Evil games. Again, most of my problems with 1 is how it was emulated onto PC. The changing angles from the camera that would make you walk out of the same room you just walked in pissed me off to no end. But I really liked how you had to find ink to save. That was a super cool mechanic. I wish they had kept in further games, because it's like, it makes the game just a little bit harder. Because if they wanted it to not be so hard, they would leave extra inks. But if you wanted it to be harder, you could leave less. Really loved it. It was really, really good, I feel. Resident Evil 2, I'll also keep in B. I don't have Resident Evil 4 in here. Resident Evil 3, I'll bump up to an A. So Resident Evil 2, the plot line was harder for me to handle. We had to deal with the little girl, which made things hard. And then, instead of just zombies and stuff, we had the, like, big cloaked man who was just unkillable for some reason. So some of that didn't make a lot of sense to me. Resident Evil 3, I think, is an A. I really, really liked it. I liked going through the science-y parts. Is that the one we did with the little girl at the train on the end? I don't remember, but I liked that whole talking to the scientist and being in the lab and stuff. I really, really liked that part. We Happy Few? This might be controversial. I'm gonna put it at an A. It's only controversial because it is a game known for being insanely glitchy. And when I played it as well, it was very glitchy. But I just had a blast with it. I don't know. I don't know if it was because of the English slang, like, it was very foreign to me, or if it was just so different than any game I'd played before, but I actually really liked it. It had tons and tons of content for how cheap the game was. I think I played it. I can look it up. I played it for hours and hours and hours. 48 hours. So I really liked it. And I think it's dystopian in a good way, and it's a little anti-police, anti-authoritarian for me, but I think they did it really, really well. Next is Yomawari. I'll give Yomawari an A. It might also be a JRPG. It's about ghosts, and it's about a little girl who walks the streets at night. I just think it was fun. It was well done. The art is amazing. No complaints. I don't remember any complaints about it. So it's gonna get an A. Amanda the Adventurer, you're getting a D. I'm sorry. You weren't great and you weren't good. Again, it's slightly better than like Garden of Bam Bam or Poppy's Playtime, because it, for me, was less geared towards children than the other ones had been. But it was convoluted and it was hard, and I really feel like if I tried to play it again, I couldn't finish it. I feel like if I tried to play it again, I would have to do a walkthrough, because there are so many little things that I really feel like don't make sense. About like, oh, you didn't know you were supposed to pause the tape at this time and do this thing, and if you do it in a different order, you get a different ending. It just seems very, like they wanted to put all these little secrets in, but didn't know how, so they just splashed them all in randomly. And I feel like they could have done a better job at how to do that. Danganronpa is a C. This might ruffle some feathers. I really didn't care for Danganronpa. I still have Danganronpa 2 and 3 that I will probably play at some time. But I just really didn't care for it. Some of the murders were better than others, but most of them towards the end were just so out of unplausible that it took away from the game for me. Of like, no one saw anything, no one knows who did it, this person is dead. Oh, they actually moved the body from this room to that room and strung it up for no reason. It was just, wasn't good. I don't feel like it was good. I do apologize if, I know a lot of people love Danganronpa, but I didn't like it, so I'm very sorry. Little Nightmares 1 and 2 are both at least A tier. Let me think about them. Little Nightmares 1, they're pretty good. I'm trying to remember what all happens in Little Nightmares 2. Let me look it up real quick. So number 1 is when we're on the ship, and she tries to like let all the people free. And she like kills that lady. In the sequel, Mono returns. Okay, can I get... So I really liked Little Nightmares 1. Especially when we're like running from the really large people in the ship. I think that is so... It's so visceral, the reaction you get from that. The boy wearing the bag over the head, his name is Mono. He journeys into the wild. He lets Six free. She's being held captive. I do remember that. They go to a school where they have to like go through the school. Yeah, I think... Okay, so I'm going to move 1 up to S. I think it had a really good storyline of, like, rescuing the prisoners and stuff. I'm not sure Little Nightmares 2 had a succinct storyline. It wasn't memorable. I know we went through the school and the library and stuff, but why we did all that, I feel like, was just to have another adventure. When Little Nightmare 1, I feel like we had a reason of why we were doing things, so. AI, The Somnium Files. Oh, man. I might make people mad with this list. Let me feel. Let me think about how I actually feel. Nah, I think it has to get a D. Let me look it up. Let me get a little bit of a reminder of what's going on during this game. Interesting. 7.5 out of 10 is crazy. So I went for a 5 out of 10. Okay. I'm getting how other people felt about it. So this is interesting because this person wrote up that like the characters felt real and whole and interactions will stick with you. I didn't feel that. Superb voice acting. I do feel like the voice acting was really good. But I literally, guys, I didn't like the relationship between the characters. Iris and Kaname's relationship was fucking weird. And then Aiba is like his AI lady. Ota was like a weird little stalker guy. I just didn't feel like it made sense. I just didn't feel like the game made any sense. And I really didn't like it. And I'm really sorry. What the fuck is the plot of this game? Obviously, there's like... Let me look it up. Yeah, so there are dream worlds and there's real worlds, and you have different choices that branch the timelines. I felt like the puzzles were not hard enough. And you could just like redo them if you fucked it up. And I felt like that took away the like intensity of it. I don't know, the whole psych machine stuff, everything was just so weird. And then like she died in a box, but not really. What even happened in this game? Why was she dead and then not dead? I need someone to explain what happens in this game again in a way that makes sense. Because I don't really get it. There are so many different routes. Yeah. So I just feel like it made not a lot of sense to me at all. Maybe it's too deep for my little brain, whatever you want to say. It seemed a lot, I don't know, I didn't like Danganronpa, and it seemed a lot like Danganronpa, where like shit that would happen and then there'd be these weird convoluted explanations about why something happened. Or like how it makes sense if you really think about it. And I'm like, no, it fucking doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. The soundtrack was good. The voice acting was good. I just thought the plot made no sense. Like, almost no sense. And I did not DNR it. But when Iris died, or there was something that happened that was like, do you want to try a different path? I said no. And I left it there. Because I didn't like the game. I played it for 11 hours. It got nominated for Steam Awards. That's crazy. I just didn't like it. I'm really sorry. I do want to see if there's any... Are the reviews mostly positive? They're very positive. Oh, people are not gonna like me. So a lot of people have problems because the game crashes a lot. But that's what I was saying. So things seem to happen for no discernible reason. The game branches. Yeah. Wow, this review is really long. least favorite thing about the game, and they make up all the gameplay. Therefore, I thought the gameplay was bad. The story was meh, brilliant at times and poor most often. I don't remember it being brilliant. Here we go. Yes. The only character I liked along the way was Mitsuki, who had an amazing voice actor, but even his character, who was married down, had this weird sexual tone that persists throughout the game. I think the characters' interactions were fucking weird. Yeah, I don't know. Because I was just like, as a 36-year-old man, I think that's how old he is. He's pretty old. Would not be talking this way to like an 18-year-old girl. It's fucking weird. The horny jokes in this game are just weird and I don't get it. Yeah. So it's not like that was just for me. I just didn't love it. Maybe I would try to play it again, but there were a lot of times where I was like, this makes no sense. Nothing that's going on makes sense. What does this say? This is a highly recommended 32 hours in the game. Some of the worst, silly, unrealistic, and outright stupid action sequences I've ever seen. Why do you love it? I don't understand why he rated it so high and played 32 hours of it. Yeah, maybe it's just because I couldn't get with the characters. And I especially hated, like, 3 of the main characters, so. Yeah, it was just really hard, to play. For me. I'm really sorry if that's really offensive to anyone here. I just didn't like it. Dishonored 2, it's going right up there. It's fantastic. I played as the girl because I felt like I played as the guy in the first game, so I wanted to play as the girl in the second game. I don't think it distracted from anything at all. I think it was still done really, really well. Undertale's gonna get a B. It's fine. The plot is not bad. I think it makes the twists and turns at good times where it should. I don't think that's bad. The fighting isn't too hard most of the time. It does have a simpler art style, but that isn't gonna affect its rating for me. It just seemed like, I think it's overhype. A lot of people overhype it. I did not get a super deep meaning out of the game. A lot of people who played it were like, about it, really, really deep about it. And I was just, it just didn't feel that way for me. So it's fine. I would recommend playing it. It's not like a bad game. But making it your entire personality is kind of odd. Because I just didn't feel like it was that impactful. It was probably one of those things just like Five Nights where people had it be one of the first video games they watched that was like that. Which is to say it was cutesy, but it had turns and people were evil that weren't supposed to be evil. And like, that is not a new concept to me. And so when I played it, I was like, oh, well, okay. And it didn't go deeper than that. I kind of want to bring up my playthrough of the Somnia Files and see if I can get a feeling of how old Sandra was feeling. I barely made any progress and then got kidnapped. Iris is literally so annoying and I'm failing at all of my puzzles. I fucking hate this game. Oh my god. Sandra, chill. Why? I need to know why she hates this game. So this was, it says 2 years ago. Can we get a date? We cannot get a date. Oh, yes we can. March 29th, 2023 is when it was uploaded to YouTube. Data asking Oda why he's in the restaurant when he lives here is crazy. Why? When do I get mad? Whoa, okay, hold on. Something has happened. I'm asking chat to lobotomize me. What has happened in the past 30? This is when she's found dead in a box! This is what I was just talking about. I was like, why the fuck is she dead in a box? Iris is an android? What do you mean she's shivering? We're in an ice box! We're literally in a freezer! God, why does this game make no sense? Oh my god, Iris is so annoying. Is Iris supposed to be, like, in a cute, dopey way? Is that what I'm not getting? She's supposed to be like, haha, I'm just so dumb. Okay. And then we went to the maid cafe. That was a weird segment that we did. How old's Date? Is Date old as fuck? Isn't he like 30 something? He's in his 30s. Yeah, I don't like his relationship with Iris. Okay, so there's a few things about the game I don't like. But one of them is definitely, like... Yeah, one of them is definitely that the game tries to be serious and funny at the same time. And that doesn't make sense to me. And then they have all this deep lore about the psych stuff that doesn't make sense to me. And I fucking hate Iris. I just don't like her. As a character, I don't like her. She's annoying. And she's, like, allowed to be. She's, like, an 8-year-old girl or whatever. She's not supposed to be, like, an adult. But I don't care for it. I'm really sorry, y'all. And then it's set for a sequel, which is fucking wild. No, the sequel rest was released. Oh, I just don't like it. I'm sorry. Sorry. I don't like it. But maybe someday we will play it again and I will still not like it. Does it deserve a D? Does it deserve a D? I don't know. You know, I'll move it up to a C. It's only barely worse than Danganronpa. So I'll move it up. If you hate me now, I'm sorry. But I said what I said and I mean it. And that's stream. Thank you all so much for being here. No, are we supposed to end at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock? I don't remember. If nothing else, I need to switch over laundry. I feel like that's a good place to end it, though.